Hey everyone, this is Jim from the Daily Fantasy Optimizer development team. I'm going to walk you really quickly through a new backtesting feature that we're really excited to release. It's going to let you run our optimizer on past contest slates from the last week and see how you would have performed, compare multiple strategies and multiple builds and things like that. So I'm on the landing page right now. I'm going to go to the Optimizer tab. And so the backtesting feature is free to use. You just need to create an account and log in. And so once you're logged in, you'll see your avatar on the top right, and you'll see this new backtesting button on the top left. So I'm going to go into backtesting mode. I'm going to pick DraftKings, MLB. And the first difference you'll notice off the bat is you can select a past slate now. So we're going to list the slates from the last week here. I'm going to choose a 3-game slate from a couple days ago. And we've designed this such that the optimizer is going to look exactly the same. So if you're used to using the optimizer, it's going to feel natural to use. And so off the bat, I'm going to do just a 10 lineup build using the default settings. So I'm going to generate lineups. Really the main change here is that we used to have a view lineups button. It's now view results in backtesting mode. It's going to take you right to a summary of how your different builds have performed with some basic statistics here. I just have one build here now that's called build one by default. I'm going to change that to default settings. So we have the build tab here. We have also a visualization that shows you a nice chart of how your lineups performed and what percentage your lineups got, which points. We also still have the lineups tab. This is usually the default that you see using the optimizer normally, except now we have the actual points scored. So we have the actual fantasy points for each one of the players, and so we can calculate that for your individual lineups that you've generated. So the really interesting thing about backtesting is we can add multiple builds to test different strategies. So now I'm going to add a build that adds some stacks to the lineup and some different tweaks to increase the upside. So first I'm going to increase the max exposure, which is going to let the same players appear in more of my lineups. I'm going to add a 4-4 team stack, so I'm forcing 2 different stacks of 4 players into all of my lineups. And then finally I'm going to increase the max overlaps of the same groupings so players can appear in multiple lineups. So I'm going to generate 10 again for comparison now, and so theoretically I should see that my upside is increased by doing some of those tweaks, and I'm going to test and visualize and see if that's actually the case. So go to view results now. Now I have 2 of my builds to compare. My default settings on the top, I can see my stacks build I just generated has increased the average points by a little bit, and I've also seen that my max points has increased from 127 to 147, so a pretty significant bump from some of those tweaks that I just made. You can also, again, visualize this in histogram form. I can look at how my stacks build compared with the default settings, and we can see that things are generally scoring higher points. So that's pretty cool. Another thing I wanted to share here is that, oftentimes we're interested in how we would have performed actually in the past contest that we played in. So DraftKings, for example, lets you download CSV data for a contest that you've played, and we let you upload that contest file. So I'm going to select a contest file, and that shows that now it imports it, and it shows those results compared to what your builds have done. So it's a cool way to go back in the past and look at how you're performing in a particular contest if you have the data. We also have a contest tab that's going to show the winning points and the number of entries there. Finally, before I close, one more feature of backtesting that we've included is a compare projections tool. So this is going to show you a graph here showing how each of the player in the slate were projected and how they actually scored. So each one of these dots is a player. I see Zach Wheeler was projected for 19.7, actually scored 25.1, so he overperformed his projection. We can kind of filter on this graph. I can add certain teams, for example, color by position or team here. So, you can do different interesting things through here. So I might notice that, some players the projection were pretty far off, like Weston Wilson here. So I might want to go into our edit projection menu and maybe bump him up and see how my optimization would have done with a different projection for him. So we think this will allow you to do a lot of interesting things, this backtesting feature, so give it a shot. Let us know if you have any questions. Hop on our Discord and give us feedback or shoot us a contact form in the website. So yeah, thanks for checking it out. Let us know if you have questions, and happy optimizing.